When it comes to taking care of your machine, I want to show you a couple things you need to do. What I'm going to show you about cleaning out down below is something you want to do after every 2 to 3 bobbins. Believe me, as soon as you start to be sewing, you break thread, you just notice things are just not as smooth as they need to be, there's probably lint gathered underneath this. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut my thread up here at the top and just pull this thread down through the needle all the way out. The reason for it is if I just pull my spool out of the machine, any lint down here is going to get backed up into the machine, up into the tension area, and we don't want to have any more up there than we need. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take out the needle. So you need your screwdriver, and if you have your multi-purpose tool close by, that can kind of catch that needle so it doesn't drop in and have to fish it out. It's also something we'll use when we go to put it back in there. We can just drop it in and lift straight up. Awesome. All right, foot. Just go ahead and slide this off. If you want to go ahead and unplug your foot control, that will still allow you for your light to be on and you can see what you're doing, but you won't accidentally do any sewing. Take your bobbin out next. So lift up your bobbin, and now you need your screwdriver. Not for any screws, do you notice? All we need to do is come underneath this little corner, either one, and pop up the plate. This is so easy. Pull the plate off. Next, you're going to take this little horseshoe shape piece that's covering up your bobbin case that's down in here. When we go to drop it back in, you're going to notice that it'll just go back in nice and flush all the way around. So that comes out next, and next is your bobbin case. The bobbin case is where your bobbin sits in. This is where your tension is. But down in here is where all your lint is going to gather. You're really going to notice this is going to become a basket of lint. You've got to brush in with your machine, so you can go in here and get that all cleaned out. You can also use your selective thread cutter and get this little guy to kind of move around so you can get in and behind him. Sometimes he gets some thread caught in his little cutter and you have to get that out as well. Now, one thing to use is brushes. This is another one I like. It's kind of just a mini dust it, and boy, it's like a Swiffer for sewing machines. It just pulls everything out. But what you don't want to use is canned air. No, no. Canned air is going to push more in and back into all the moving parts of your machine than pull it out. So I don't know why sewing machine stores carry that or some of the major fabric stores. Please don't buy it. It is not meant for sewing machines. It will do more harm than good. So brushes, don't blow in it or anything. Also, to your machine is going to tell you, or your manual is going to tell you, not to oil. So all we have to do is brush it out, put it all back together, and get back to sewing. The materials that they use in here are kind of a space-age material. They kind of heat up, they lubricate themselves, all is good, and they've really made it so if we don't oil our machines, which we're not supposed to on this model, it's not going to be a harm. So many people were not oiling their machines and causing more issues, so they eliminated that by using different materials. Awesome. Thank you, Husqvarna Viking. So to put everything back together here, we're going to go ahead and take our bobbin case. These two little points are going to point directly towards the back of the machine. Lay that in there. It is going to wiggle a little back and forth. That is correct. Next, we'll take that horseshoe shape. Notice the front edge I'm lining up and then just dropping that straight down. So that should it will fit nice and even across the edges. Our throat plate goes next. There's a little nub in the back. He's going to fit back here, line that all the way up, and then just push down firmly on the front part of the throat plate. We can go ahead and I always put the foot on first before I put a new needle back in. The needle can then go down the foot and then straight up to where it needs to go. That little holder, see, I've already got it in position, and then we can go ahead and tighten it with the screwdriver. The little tool here has that little flat side to the back here, so the flat side always stays where it needs, makes it perfect to put it all the way back in there. I'm going to show you one more thing that you can clean this machine with, or if you have any troubles, you can get into. This part of your machine can actually be removed if you get any threads caught up here. So just take your fingers underneath and pull straight up. This part is it just hooks right back in. And you can get in here and with tweezers or anything you might need, you can pull out anything from there. Just take this little top part. You're going to come up It will hook underneath. There's really only one way to do it, and then just push it back into position, and that will go ahead and go back in. So next what I'll do is just go ahead and rethread the machine, sew on it, make sure that I've put my needle in high enough because I'm going to use my needle threader, and double check that. Yes, I've got my needle in high enough because my needle threader lines up. We'll put our bobbin back in, and then we'll sew. So what you want to do is you want to do this about every 2 to 3 bobbins. Yes, that sounds like a lot, but believe me, a lot of your fabrics are a lot lintier than you realize. Plus, when you're done, once a year, you want to take it into your Husqvarna Viking dealer and have them clean the rest of the machine. There's a lot of moving parts that need other attention, fine-tuning, because as you sew, everything vibrates, and over time that can lead to things that you don't want when you're sewing. So keep up on your annual services, plug your machine into a surge protector, or better yet, that battery backup, and you'll definitely have a wonderful machine that will serve you for years to come.